haven't posted anything in the way of music for quite a long time now. I've sort of switched over to doing Blender 3D stuff because it's quieter for the kids to sleep, and it's relaxing for me. And I thought tonight I'm just gonna take a stroll down memory lane, mostly for myself or any close friends or family who want to, you know, come along for the ride. And maybe you'll see yourself in some of these pictures, or you'll hear familiar stories. I don't expect really anybody's going to watch this, but I just feel the need to do something. And so here we go. So I've just got a bunch of random pictures in here, and as they pop up, I'll see if I can remember what the deal was. And obviously, this is going way back to I was about 16 or something like that. This is at Ridgemont High School in Ottawa, and there's my first ovation, and singing at the coffee house with the pink shirt and the hat and the fox suspenders. And it looks like I'm playing a B minor bar chord. So that's that. And yeah, there was long hair days. Never felt I had good hair. A lot of people, I think, go through that. But anyhow, we got the headband on, and there's my brother Les there drinking milk, very healthy. And we got a dog there. I don't know what dog that is. But of course, I ended up getting dogs, and this is from a number of years ago in London. That's Mandy in the pink, and Molly jumping up there. And there's also Abby. There's Abby when we just got her, very young. Okay, so 3 Jack Russell girls. That's my second ovation, and Mandy's head there. That guitar actually got stolen from me. I got a break and enter, and the guitar was stolen, but fortunately it was reported to the police. I guess somebody tried to pawn it off, and it was returned to me, and I still have it. This is a picture at Starbucks in London, where I did a couple of shows. And this is on stage at Central. I used to do, whenever there was an auditorium or a assembly or whatever, they'd ask me if I would sing, and of course I would. This is my grandfather and grandmother on my mother's side, and that's me sitting on my grandfather, and that's my brother Les sitting on my grandmother. And a picture of me and Les when we were young. And this is me, I guess, when I was born in Kingston, and in just about a month old. Born in January '62, so this is February '62. Let's see if I can zoom in on this one here. I was about, 18 or something. This is in Calgary on the 8th Avenue Mall. And here I'm leaning over playing guitar. There's a crowd of people watching me. So I used to love playing in the streets and making a bit of money, and being like sort of a self-employed musician. Here's a picture of my father holding me in February of '62. So I guess we were in Kingston for that. Okay, what's this? University of Western Ontario. Okay, so that's where I did my Bachelor of Education in 1992. Finished it in 92. And this is my Honors BSc from University of Ottawa in May of 1990. And I guess for the year of 91, I did a 5th year. I took some graduate courses, but I didn't do my master's. I wanted to either do medicine or teaching, and ended up doing teaching. This is a screenshot of, I guess, Deanie's response to when I wrote Indonesian Girl. This is the first picture I ever really saw of Deanie. It's from when she recorded Put Your Head on My Shoulder. That was the first song I heard of hers. And this is about 2008, I think. Very shortly after I had joined YouTube and she had. And somehow we found each other, and I heard her sing that, Put Your Head on My Shoulders. And then short time after that, I decided I'd write her a song. I barely knew her. And I wrote Indonesian Girl, and this is her response to that. So I guess she liked it, and that started our relationship. And of course, in 2009, in March, I went to Jakarta to meet her. It was March break for me as a teacher, and then the following year, starting in September, August actually, I flew back there again, and I lived there for a year. I taught there for a year. We got married, and we moved in together, and then we went through the process of, getting her to Canada, because I still have my job in Canada, really. And and that's how that went. Let's see what's next here. And of course, as you know, Deanie's a singer, songwriter. So here we're at our old house in London, Ontario, and she's writing some lyrics down, or writing a song or something. Had a lot of guitars in my life, and this is a 25th anniversary Seagull guitar. That one's gone. Most of them are gone. And here she's recording. This is in her little studio in that same house in Banbury. So she's into recording. We both were before we had kids. And we also tried playing on the street as well. This is in London. It's just too bad because, the years of being a busker are gone. I think, anyhow, there was a time for that. Again, in the 70s, and the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And after that, dead. But anyways, we tried it. And here she's playing a little Martin guitar, like the Ed Sheeran guitar. Gone as well. This goes back, I think I was probably in university around that time. I cut my hair and went back to school. This is Danny Dunlop. And we're playing at, I think it's the Bank Street Cafe in Ottawa on Bank Street. He got a lot of gigs. I was at university, and I was trying to sort of break out of the music and concentrate on getting my life together and getting an education, and he kept calling me up to do gig after gig. And sometimes I was a little hard to deal with. I was a bit confused and frustrated, and going in different directions. But Dan always got the gigs, and I needed the money. I guess this is back when I was young, again, with the hair, and I'm a teenager, playing that First Ovation. And I remember the club, but I forget the name of it. But I played there a number of times. This is teaching. I remember all these students, and of course I'm turning gray, losing the hair, gaining a little bit of weight. And I guess this is a screenshot from Deanie's laptop when I first flew out to see her in that March break of 2009 at her house. And we always thought it was interesting that if you look back here, there are maple leaves on the wallpaper. Maybe a sign of what was to come. This is the first night, or it might have been, actually looks bright back here, might have been the next morning when I went to Jakarta over that March break to meet Deanie and her family for the first time. I stayed at a hotel called the Crystal, in Jakarta. And so here I am, and I'm looking a little bit more rested. So this might have been the next morning after I landed there and slept at the hotel. And then they came and picked me up. And I guess we went out for breakfast and sightseeing. And perhaps I had to, because I had a job interview as well set up at Jakarta International Multicultural School, where I would end up teaching for a year. And so I was there for that as well. And here we are at Hot Planet, I think is the name of the restaurant in Jakarta. A lot browner and a lot younger. Yeah, here I guess I'm going for my interview, or just came. This is in front of that Crystal Hotel, and I brought Deanie a Canada shirt, and I'm all dressed up to go for my interview. This is back in London. I'm going for a walk and sitting down having a little break. This is back in Jakarta again, possibly that same restaurant, I'm not sure. Looks like she's got the engagement ring on. So this is still the March break as far as I know, or it might have been very early when I returned there in the summer of 2009 to sort of ship my stuff over there and move there. So young and pretty. Still pretty. Yeah, this is the March break. Okay? Just fooling around. This is where we lived, or where I lived initially, and then when we got married, we both lived there in Jakarta. This is just in our kitchen area. The two of us before kids. Yeah, messing around in her room with music. Deanie, of course, plays drums as well. And I think this is the song that started it all. I had written this song called Teenage Happenstance for students at my school. And this is the one that Deanie heard somehow. She found me. And she liked my singing. And we ended up getting in touch with each other. And yeah, I took some screenshots from her Put Your Head on My Shoulders video. This is Mandy when she was, when we just got her. This is a Hamilton Road townhouse in London, where the first place that Deanie lived in Canada when she came over. And that's Mandy. Yeah, a screenshot of Indonesian Girl. And this is a picture out the window of, I believe it's that Crystal Hotel in Jakarta. And I guess I have probably various other pictures going through. I just thought it was interesting. You know, of course, they got McDonald's out there. Of course. And me with a security guard. And KFC or KFC. They make fantastic chicken over there. It's way better. No offense. But way better than our Kentucky Fried Chicken. They take food seriously. And I guess various pictures of food stalls and stuff. Here we are just driving down the street, and I'm just snapping pictures on my cell phone. Okay, a lot of motorcycles. I eventually rode a motorcycle. A lot of people with no helmets. That's very common out there. I did it all the time as well. And not necessarily powerful motorcycles, but more powerful than a bicycle. All right, various. This is actually, I believe, off of the roof at the school that I taught. So after school, I would go up with the principal, who was from the UK, and we'd go up to the top and talk about life in Jakarta and that kind of stuff. And you look out, and coconuts and bananas and all that kind of weird stuff. It's very strange for a Canadian from Ottawa. Here I am at the grounds, I think at my interview or one of my interviews in Jakarta. And here's a picture of me teaching some kids at the school gyms. And you can see they've got the branded lab coats here. It was an international school, so there were a lot of expat parents that would send their kids there. This is construction of that school because there was a flood and it destroyed the first school. And when I went back after March break, after my interview, I learned that actually it was quite a tragedy, and that school had been destroyed, and so they had built another school. And this is the principal. He's the guy. I want to say he's the guy that hired me, but it was probably the owners really. But he vouched for me and wanted me, and I did a good job for him and for the owners. All right, so there we are. This is the March break at my interview. And here we are looking at a DNA model. There wasn't that much in the way of resources. Pretty much everything they have here, I ordered because they asked me to come in and they said, "What do you need?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to need microscopes and models and Bunsen burners and this and that and the other thing." So we tried to get the science classrooms set up for them. And again, off the roof. What's this? For being professional, inspiration, and expressive. I guess I get a little certificate. All right, February of 2010. All right, so we had been married in December 12th. Of 2009, and so now we're into February, and I went through and finished the year there. And this is the school. All right, there's me, and we're doing some outdoor science activity. I think it was quadrat analysis, if I remember, and they used some of these pictures in pamphlets to promote the school. I haven't seen this for a long time. I guess we're singing. We're doing some music for the kids in the music room. Singing along. Very cute. Okay, so what do we have? Yeah, the Redwoods. That was the name of my class. I don't know if that's the full class or whoever was not there that day. There's me, Mr. Elliott. Not Mr. Kimmel, Mr. Elliott. All right, and the rest of the kids. And I think this might have been the yearbook. There I am in the middle, and there's that principal. There's Waddy and the various kids in the school. Yeah, there's Jack and Emily. Different people from John from all over. Waddy, maybe I mentioned him. Just amazing. Oh, okay, well that's completely different. Kiss. Yeah, Kiss in the Epiphone Les Paul copy. I guess that's as famous as I ever got. The Ottawa Journal magazine, playing on Spark Street in Ottawa, when I'm probably, between 16 and 18 years old. And another one, a street singer entertains lunch crowd. They don't look that entertained. Nobody's looking at me. But this is what we did. And back when it was cool to be a street musician. Mandy, Molly, and Abby in the Jeep. And this is London, Ontario, before we moved to New Brunswick. I guess this is Mom and me. And this, I think, is my dad's university graduation picture from some year. So, yeah, I'm just a month old there. Maybe less. And again, I remember these lamps. Yeah. Prodigy, I guess. Me, Paul Manley, Les, and Al Wilmore. back in the days of playing the Beacon Arms and Galileos and those places too. This, I think, is the Centurion Dining Lounge, where I played acoustically. I was like the house musician, and then every once in a while the band would come in and play as well. And I remember Fida, the owner, saying, turn it down, too loud. This is me and Al Wilmore at Kilroy's pub. And yeah, that was another place that I was the house musician for a long time. This is the Beacon Arms. Rent the hall and sell tickets and sell beer and stuff, trying to make a bit of money. Well, we never did, but anyways. And this is, I think this is Galileo's, actually. This gold top Les Paul was trouble all the time. I probably could have got it professionally set up, but it was terrible. It just did not stay in tune at all. And I saved up for a long time to get that, and I actually disliked it. I think Al Sabrin used to lend me a Strat sometimes, and I liked it better. Although I like Gibsons more. I like Fenders, of course. I still think Galileos, but I could be wrong. No, it's not the Centurion because it doesn't have the windows, so it's Galileos. Okay, Paul and Les and me, and Al's over on the side. There he is. Gosh, yeah, when Al came into the band, of course I met Al when I went to Rito High School. We were both just young, and we became friends and musicians, and we lived together, and we, wrote songs and all of that stuff. And he's a great guy, great musician. One of the good guys. Yeah, it's going over the set list in the parking lot, I think. And then sitting on someone's car. Which car has that? Looks like a guitar, but I guess it's the seatbelt there. Okay. I guess we were allowed to do that. Yeah, I can't really see this too well, but this is at the Rainbow Bistro. That's me, Danny Dunlop, Bobby, and I forget, sax player there, and drummer Pat. I think I really liked all those guys playing. This might have been the night that Colin James came in and played the guitar. One of those nights he did. We played there a lot, and he had this is Danny Strat. I didn't own any guitars at that time. I was going to university, trying to get my life in order. Anyways, and Danny would say, we got another gig. And I'm like, oh, I got an exam tomorrow, but we got a gig. So anyways, I could walk around with that guitar because it was cordless. Okay, back to that. I've had a few nice cars. Nothing incredible, but this is my RX-8. I guess my first RX-8. I swapped out these, and I had that put on, and a few other things. Yeah, and it's got the sand leather interior, so that's the first RX-8. And I'm playing on the street. Oh, these guys are passing by looking, who's that hippie there? She's holding her purse tight. Don't give me any money. Yeah, laying in front of Scott's Chicken on Spark Street. But those are wonderful days. And this is Danny and Steve, and we were the Reno Raiders, singing in harmony and playing our guitars on the street as well. And we did very well. We made a lot of money, and it was more country music. It was great. Yeah, so this is the Centurion Dining Lounge, and I guess the owner ran out of teas and spelled my name that way. Live entertainment Wednesday to Saturday, 9 p.m. to closing. So it was a long-term gig. I did that every Wednesday to Saturday for a long time, and that's how I survived. And like I say, we bring the band in once in a while, but mostly it was acoustic music. And I think Benoit used to come by, I remember, and a few other people that I miss. This is in Jakarta, getting a tattoo because I wanted to have something permanent to remember. So this was the tattoo artist, and I got, I think, just the name Jakarta and a date on there. Yeah, and there's getting other tattoos in, this is in London. once you start, it's very hard to stop. You just want to do something. You end up getting dumb stuff because you want something done, and so and so is the only person free, or this is all you can afford. It's just this, it's like drinking coffee, just getting something done. And I don't particularly regret any of it. I sometimes say that I do, but I don't really. It's just a thing. And I like these when I first got them, but of course you have to get certain things redone. I just wanted all kinds of religious symbols, things that I have been interested in there. But over time they wear down, and you almost can't see them anymore. But it was nice to have them for a while. And this just goes way back to when we were quite young. This is my mom, and this is my grandmother, her mother, and me and my brother Les at Camp Gesher, I guess. I'm not sure why we went up there. Maybe to visit Sean, or maybe Les was there. Although he looks a little bit too old to be going to camp. So, and this is the guy that first hired me to teach at Central, Doug Fairburn. There he was the principal, and I'm sure this is my first year teaching. Pretty young there. He was a good guy. In fact, he was going to go to China at one point and wanted me to go with him, and that started my overseas thing. And then things got really bad there, and so he was going. It's not safe to go there, so we didn't. And then shortly after that, I met Deanie. Ended up going to Jakarta. Well, Tom Jones live in Las Vegas. For those of you that like Tom Jones, if any of you do, he was always my favorite, and this was my favorite album. I know every song, of course. It's not unusual. This is me and Deanie at her house getting married, and this is the way they do the ceremonies out there. And I always called this my Elvis suit. We get dressed up like that, and we did the ceremony right there. And there's a few pictures from that occasion at her house getting married. All right, and some pictures of us. Yeah, it was all very, very strange to me because it was so different. Was that the end of that? Is that all I've got for you in this particular folder? I may have exhausted it all. That's going to be it for now. I'll talk to you soon.